up, y'all? Happy Monday. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leticia and I'm a bodybuilder who is currently going through my first cut phase of this year. Last week was a week, I will tell you that. So I know I was saying the scale wasn't really moving last week. That is still the case. I woke up this morning, had check-ins with my coach, and my weight is the exact same as it was last week. I was in my head a little bit about it, and I've been feeling really run down and super low energy, and everything is kind of a lot to, handle at one time. And it kind of sucks because I really feel like I am not putting out much effort, and I also am not on super low food or anything crazy. So the amount of fatigue that I'm feeling is like really frustrating. So I kind of had to get out of my head a little bit, and I took myself back to when I first started prep last year. Thankfully, we have all of the data. I'm super grateful for my coach for keeping such really great organized data. So I had something to reference, and I went back, and lo and behold, the first 4 weeks of my prep, I was right about the same weight that I am now, but the first 4 weeks of my prep, literally, I was having the same issue. My body was showing so much resistance. I was feeling super fatigued. And so what we kind of did at that time is we took a step back, gave my body a small break, and then just like punched the gas. So I'm kind of assuming that that's what's going to happen again. I had that conversation with my coach in my check-ins today, and I was kind of like, hey, it's kind of ridiculous, but this is what my body's doing. So maybe it's time to give me a little break, and that's always so hard as an athlete to ask your coach for a break, because I feel like I can push so much harder. But you know what? If my body wants to be temperamental, it wants to be temperamental. But he also did remind me that, it's funny because he was apparently looking at the same data that I was looking at right before I had brought up to him that I was looking at it. So we're kind of on the same page. We're giving me a little break, and then we're more than likely just going to drill the rest of this mini cut just to get a response, because sometimes that's just how it goes. My body decides that it's going to show us resistance, and we just got to keep pushing right back. So I was telling Luis, I don't mind feeling like crap if my body is responding. If I have some sort of reward that I'm getting out of it, I'm perfectly content with suffering. But it's just frustrating when I'm suffering and nothing's happening. So I am just going to enjoy this little break, and then I'm going to embrace the suck, because that is exactly what's coming, and it's right around the corner. So yeah, basically updates for this week is I get 4 medium days with no cardio, and then I check back in with my coach on Friday morning, and then that's going to kind of determine the rest of this week. So it could go either way. Either I'm going to continue to get more food and no cardio, or if my body is kind of feeling better and we kind of self-regulate, then it's likely that I'm just going to go back into low days with cardio and things like that, which is perfectly fine by me. But yeah, so I am going to park now. I just got to the gym. I also got a new split, and my coach was basically just saying I want you to fall back in love with training, and I want you to just have fun. So I have a temporary split right now, and I get to hit quads 2 days a week. So I'm super excited. I have my first quad day today, and then I have another quad day on Wednesday. But yeah, so I am gonna go head into the gym now, and I will talk to you soon.
So I was having a conversation with Luis yesterday, and I really think that this would be a great place to kind of drop that conversation. And it is surrounding me messing up my reverse. So what I'm gonna do is, while I'm making my little coffee and having my little barista moment, I'm gonna tell you how I messed up my reverse. So when I was about 8 weeks out from my show, I kind of just disconnected from my physical body in the way that when I looked in the mirror, I no longer recognized myself. I didn't have a connection with the person in the mirror, and my body dysmorphia got so bad that I no longer recognized that person, and I never formed a genuine connection with her. And I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin that I completely stopped looking at myself. So it's to the point where I have looked back at pictures, I don't recognize that person because I never saw her for who she was. And it's still so hard for me to believe that I was actually that lean. And so the conversation I was having with Luis was along the lines of, I basically self-sabotaged. And it's hard too, because I keep saying I didn't mess up my reverse that bad. Granted, I didn't gain 30, 40 pounds, you know what I mean? I didn't do anything crazy. And it wasn't weight that I put on automatically. Some bodybuilders have had the experience where they put on a very large amount of weight very, very quickly after their show. And I did not have that experience. And so in that case, I think that's why I was convincing myself that I didn't mess up my reverse, when that is not the case, because I did not stick to my reverse. I did mess up my reverse. And I'm finally coming to terms with that. And so me and Luis were kind of talking, because we're talking about plans for him post-show. Like I said, his first show is 2 weeks out. And as of right now, he could be anywhere from 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, and 5 weeks out. There's a third show that he's considering, but he isn't sure yet, because we want to make sure we get him through these first 2 shows, see how his body's doing, and then see if he is even willing to push for that extra couple weeks. But he is already kind of locking in on strategies and things that he wants to do during his reverse to make sure that it's as seamless as possible. Because for him, he had a conversation with our coach, and he is planning to switch divisions hopefully next year, or maybe cross compete next year. This first set of shows he's doing, he's competing in men's physique. Everybody under the sun is telling him to switch to classic, and the way that he has expressed it to me is, yes, he would love to, and that is the ultimate goal. He wants to be a classic physique competitor, but he feels like he needs to earn it in a way. And so he had the conversation with our coach. Our coach is completely on board, but he has told him that he needs to be very careful with his reverse so that he doesn't mess up his chances to switch divisions in the future. So, just a quick little thing of what I'm doing. But yeah, so that's kind of the conversation they had. And so along those lines, it kind of came up in our conversation about my reverse and how everything went. And yesterday was the first time that I had expressed to him how bad my body dysmorphia got. And I think it's not even because I was hiding it from anybody. It was just because it took me this long to process it and to understand that that's where I went wrong. We came to the conclusion that yes, I was mentally present because I was feeling all the feelings and I was in it and I was here. But he said he felt like I was physically checked out and that I was no longer present. So I kind of have a little bit of a better understanding of that now, and I have a better idea of how we're gonna approach this the next time around, because I really, really want to do this long term, and I really want to be good at this. And in order to be good at this, I need to treat my off season like a prep, if that makes sense. I need to treat my reverse like a prep. And so we were having these conversations because his sole motivation of being good for his reverse is obviously he wants to switch divisions. But he keeps saying, I worked so hard for this. I don't want to lose it. I worked so hard day in and day out. And I think that's kind of what made me realize that disconnect that I was having, because I never felt like I earned it. I disconnected so much. Like I said, I stopped looking at myself, but I disconnected so much that I didn't recognize the work that I was putting in to get to where I needed to be. And I think I took it for granted in a way. And so that's kind of the conversation we were having yesterday. And we were talking about strategies of how we're going to attack my reverse in the future and all of that, because everything we do it as a team. You know, we took this year and last year to kind of have our preps separately just so that we could solely focus on those people. So last year my prep was about me, and he gave me all of the attention and all of the effort. And this year, this prep is about him, and I'm giving him all of the attention and all of the effort. But now that I've gone through my prep and he's basically almost done with his prep, we've come to the conclusion that we genuinely think we can prep together. And we just wanted to make sure that we could prep ourselves. And yes, we do rely on each other a lot in and out of prep, but we needed to make sure that we would be able to be self-sufficient enough to be able to do this together. Because a lot of people say that prep will either make or break a relationship, and we've always had a very strong relationship. We've always had really great communication. You know, we're not a couple to like argue or like have disagreements that are like serious disagreements, you know. We don't have large issues in our relationship. And so we just wanted to make sure that we could individually handle these things for ourselves and together before we talk about doing a prep together. But it seems like something that we think that we could handle together. And so the plan is ideally sometime next year, we're hoping to go through a prep together. And I think that'll be really cool. I'm really excited for that. And so basically the back end work has to start now. You know, we've figured out where my reverse went wrong, and he's also taking data from that as well. You know, we had a bunch of trips planned right after my show, and we didn't put those processes in place strong enough to keep me on plan. So we had a lot of traveling happen, and, you know, I did a lot of off-plan eating and all of that. So, you know, with his prep, we're making sure that we're very strategic about the places that we go, where we go, who we go with, how we're going, where's our food coming from. You know, we're putting all of those things in place because we learned so much from my reverse. And so he's taking data from that and making sure that we're setting him up for success during his reverse. And then kind of moving forward, we have the patterns and things to fall back on that I did wrong. So I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be just fine. I'm actually really excited to be able to experience prep with him next year. I really do think that, like I said, we've always had a really strong relationship and we get along really well. We have a genuine connection and we care about each other so much. But I think that us prepping has brought us together more than anything else, because we actually get to share this passion and this lifestyle with each other. And it's just been so beautiful to watch like our relationship grow from something like this. It's so interesting too, because our relationship has grown from us being completely selfish, right? Because bodybuilding is a very selfish sport. Prep is a very, very selfish chunk of time where you have to do anything and everything for yourself with only yourself in mind. And I mean, yes, you still want to consider other people along the way, but like prep itself needs to be selfish. And the fact that we've grown so much closer by being so much more selfish is more than I could have ever asked for. So yeah, all of that to say, that is the backstory about how I messed up my reverse. and what I plan to do moving forward and how we're going to attack his reverse. But until then, we got to get him to his show. You know, he is officially 12 days out, and it's getting fun. His sauces got cut this week. His seasonings are getting cut. He can't have like the extra things, so like no like sodas or energy drinks, like the 0-calorie sweeteners, anything like that. So he's getting into the fun part, and he's getting really excited. I'm getting really excited, and I can't wait to see how the rest of this prep unfolds for him. So yeah, that is my ramble for today.
Hello. I am going to a plant expo, and I'm so excited. I've never been to a plant expo before, and I am heading there now. So I'm super excited. I have one plant, and I am determined to be a plant mom. I am in my plant mom era because plants are the new pets and pets are the new kids, and I don't care. You can't tell me any different. These are my plants. Happy Sunday. I just wanted to close out this vlog by giving you a couple of last updates. Did have a little bit of a diet break at the beginning of this week. Monday to Thursday, I had medium days, no cardio. Lifts stayed the same, steps stayed the same, and my weight just stayed the same, which was actually very positive, because it could have gone either way. We kind of expected my weight to actually jump up just a little bit, just from the extra food and all of that and less activity, but my body was using all of the food the way it was supposed to, so that is a good sign. So after Friday, I dropped 2 pounds, so that was fun. Basically, that means that we did all the things we needed to do, and now we are right back to the grind. I have check-ins again on Monday, so we'll see what goes with that. But I basically told my coach, let's just run me into the ground, honestly. I feel a lot better mentally, physically, all of the above, and I am ready for this cut to freaking cut. Because at the end of the day, the number on the scale isn't like the biggest deal to me, but at the same time, I'm going based off of like physical changes and how I'm feeling and all of that, and there wasn't much physical change happening. So it was kind of like, this feels like it's all for nothing, even though I know that's not the case. But at the end of the day, we're still collecting data. We're getting better and better every day. See what my protocol looks like next week. I wouldn't be surprised if we just keep running with these low days, because again, my low days really are not that low, and my cardio right now is really not that high. The only thing is though, my coach did tell me that he's taking away the stairs for me and he's taking away the treadmill. So he gave me the option of either doing the bike or the elliptical, and I have never used an elliptical a day in my life. My goodness, that was so humbling. But all in all, it was a really good experience. I was telling Luis that maybe it is better that I can't turn my brain off during cardio and that I actually have to focus on it. So obviously, my body is very sensitive. And yeah, so thank you for joining me again for another week. At this point, I don't know how much longer this cut's gonna be, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it until coach says we're good. I'm hoping that we start to see some results now that my body is kind of like back in business, but only time will tell. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great day, great night, whenever you're watching this, not really sure. But thank you again for joining me. If you did like this video, please do leave a comment, subscribe, turn on the little notifications, and I will catch you in the next one.